Harold, I could talk to you for hours and hours. I want to take you in a slightly different direction. You are a father. You have a daughter. Do you teach your daughter how to play tennis? Is this something that you would recommend parents?
Story. My daughter, I never forced her to play. All of a sudden, she turns 16 and she decides she wants to play tennis because she realized it's a very nice social sport. You meet a lot of people. She gets asked because of me, do you play tennis? She's a very good athlete. She's a great dancer. All right. And so now I've just started teaching her tennis, but she loves it. I mean, she'll take a basket of balls when nobody else is out on the court and hit serves. So she's just learning, but I never wanted to force her to play. It's a really tough sport. You know that. And even now, I mean, if I went to like a challenger level tournament, let's say 15 years ago, out of 32 guys, I'd look at it and say 6 could really play. Now you go to a challenger tournament, out of 32 guys, 28 can really play, and the other 4 may have gotten in because they knew the organizer, they got wild cards, but they could play also. There's a big difference now. Yeah. So it is so tough. And when I describe to people that if you're the 200th best footballer in the world, you're making $3 million a year. But if you're the 200th best tennis player in the world, you're losing about $300,000 a year.
It's crazy.
I said, so that's how tough this sport is.
I think we would agree on this that, tennis is really, even if you don't make it in the world of tennis, it's going to set you up for the rest of your life. It teaches you all of the life skills that we need to get through this journey.
Yep.
So what advice would you give to parents who are crazy enough to pursue this journey, who want to take their kids to become great players? What are some of the do's and don'ts that they could adhere to?
First one is to see if your child has the passion for it and likes the game. You can't really get good at this game unless you really like it and want to be on the court. It doesn't mean you have to spend a lot of money. It means that child wants to be against that wall. I mean, I don't know about you, Jason, but the wall was my best friend many a day.
That's how I grew up playing, yeah.
Yeah, and you want to see if your child really wants it that bad. I mean, you have to guide him and get him some instruction, but see if he really wants to be out there when he could be resting or when he could be, just hanging out with his friends. That's the first key. The second one is your child has to realize that he has to listen to others to get better. And now with the internet, before it was very tough to see great stroke production. Now it's easier to see it. I am a little bit of a stickler on that. And, if you really look at the forehand strokes you can take 4 disparate people, just before the contact zone and right after the contact zone, it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
And these kids have got to be able to look now at the internet, try to replicate what they see. I mean, a good athlete is someone who can copy, and then after they copy something, to be able to replicate it time and again. You can't get good by doing the same thing 8 different ways. You've got to have the continuity, the stroke production. I mean, there's so much more into the game. I can go on about instructors. I'm a tough critic, and I know it. But I see the strangest things being taught. And I try to tell parents, if you bring a kid to an instructor and they don't hit the way they're teaching, there's something amiss.
Harold, I want you to give us an example, because this is funny. Come on. I mean, I'm guilty of trying new things out and going, why don't I just, stop trying to reinvent the wheel and go back to basics? But, give us an example.
I'll see instructors who will tell a child or show them without a ball how to hit, jumping up in the air, turning around, and that's how the kid's got to hit the ball. And I've seen kids replicate that. And I know that, number one, that you couldn't put that ball in the same place if you did that a million times. All right. And I also know that that instructor doesn't hit a ball that way. I mean, I have seen instructors go 2 hours without hitting a ball, and showing children or, students how to hit a ball that makes no sense. And that's why I tell my students, I say, listen, go watch TV, go watch the WTA, watch the ATP matches. And if you see something radically different than what I tell you, come back and tell me. I'm interested. And I'd say out of a month of every day, let's say a tip, maybe I get 1 or 2, and if someone is vociferous about telling me when I'm wrong, I usually don't get a chance to answer it. They usually get absolutely killed by everybody else who reads on the site. And they yell at the guy, he doesn't know how to play, he doesn't do this, and I don't even have to answer because it's pretty conservative what I say. It's what you see out there. It's back to the weight going forward. I mean, I just wrote not a tip, saying that, if you're hitting a ball and your weight's going backwards, you're leaving money on the table.
I love it. I mean, I think what you're saying is, less is more. I mean, let's go back to basics. Let's keep things simple. Let's get the right ingredients in the mix, the passion, the dedication, the willingness to improve. You get all those things right. Forget about trying to, reinvent the wheel. Get those things in there. Follow your own common sense. Have some adaptability, and you're set for good things.
Yeah, I mean, I see a lot of instructors using that ladder on the side of the court, and they have the kids doing footwork drills, and the kids are really quick. They go on the court, and they don't do anything like that. They're not moving forward, they're not turning, they're not stepping. What's the use of the footwork drills with the ladder? This is what makes me nuts.
Well, I'm happy because we don't use the footwork ladders either, because we feel that the tennis-specific movement is done when they're playing tennis. And if you're off court with the trainer, you're working on strength, endurance, those kind of things to facilitate your tennis-specific stuff.